All right, so yeah, we're back live. Just remove the scorecard here for a minute, but yeah, so I'm setting up another game here on colonist.io, game of Settlers of Catan with the Catan community. It's part of their sort of ongoing league. So through the Discord channel here, we've set up a game, and yeah, basically we're sort of waiting for the 4 players to join us. It looked like the 4 people that were going to play kind of did what they need to do on the Discord in terms of responding and all of that stuff. Now we're waiting for the 4th person to actually jump on the link. So for those that are familiar with colonist.io, not so familiar with sort of how the system works, but I basically created a private game and then shared this link with the group. And then inside of the Discord channel here, we basically have the Catan community bot, and he basically, or they basically, the bot manages sort of all of the games and ensures that all of the points are counted and calculated and everything is running smoothly. So there's a little bit of like bureaucracy, I guess you could call it, as far as setting up a game and making sure that the points count in the league and then reporting the result and all of that sort of stuff. But with that said, Catan is Catan, and since we're playing in a league, the level of play is usually pretty high. Pretty solid players that have a good strategy and sort of know what to do to give themselves, a chance to win, kind of when they're setting up and picking settlements and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, we are still waiting for the 4th player. Let me just see what happened here. Yeah, it looks like it looks like Griggs is the one that we're waiting on. I think when I put in the sort of post about starting the game or setting up a game, he came in like literally a few seconds after me. So maybe he's trying to figure out how he can delete sort of his post before he joins us. But with that said, for those of you that are watching live, or for those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ziggy. TryNiceGames. Yeah, I guess we're starting the game here. So I'll put that in here. Basically, notify the Catan community bot that we've started a game. And basically, the way it's done is that once the game concludes, the person who won the game, it's sort of their responsibility to report that they've won, and then everybody else sort of approves that yes, this game happened and the screenshot that was taken is correct and all of that sort of stuff. But in that regard, we've played 2 games so far today in the league. We've lost both. I want to say that my record as far as league matches go is probably like 3 wins out of maybe 15 games. I want to say something like that that I've played. Sort of as just the standard, 4-player version. There's other sort of things that you can do that also work towards your league points and whatnot, like a 1 versus 1 game and 3-player games and things like that. I think I played a couple of 1-player games just because I don't really have much experience in 1-player games. I thought that could be interesting, but at any rate, we're basically picking 3rd on this board. So again, for those that are kind of newer to the channel, I typically talk through sort of my thought process throughout the game, but then if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you're not very familiar with Settlers of Catan or Catan, and you need sort of more of a basic introduction as far as how the game goes, totally happy to kind of talk you through it and explain what's going on and whatnot. But yeah, I sort of need questions to have answers for specific things, I guess, is what I'm getting at. So yeah, definitely 2 very very strong spots that we're taken here in the initial kind of setup. I'm wondering kind of what makes the most sense for us to do. I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made that the wheat port is way up there, and if we did like the 5, 9, 10. But are we going to be able to get clay plus wool? I don't think so. I guess there's another argument to be made that we can try to kind of maximize the clay situation here. But when it comes back to us, are we going to be able to get lumber, wheat, and sheep? I mean, I guess we're going to be able to get something, so... maybe this is the spot to go for, maybe this is the spot to go for. We do have another minute to think about this, so I will take that minute and just consider my options here. One thing that I would say is that if I do take the 3-4-5, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody jumps on the 8-3. Let's just put it that way. So, maybe the 3-4-6, but then kind of trying to maximize on the clay production situation here. Ensure we sort of have some lumber. I mean, I don't think the 4-6-11 will remain, so yeah, maybe I do this and kind of try to play a kind of hybrid strategy here where we're also going to try to capitalize on the clay port here. Don't know that this is necessarily going to be, the fruitful, because it does kind of depend on what we're able to get here after the blue player here picks their two settlements. So I'll just kind of introduce them by name. So I guess it's Kajzor. Makes the most sense to me in terms of how to pronounce it. The blue player. They're picking 4th and 5th, and then it comes back to us. And then the yellow player here is the 5th column. I believe I played with them maybe once or twice. I do know that they're one of the stronger players as far as sort of league standings go and that sort of thing. I've sort of, had a brief glance at what the standings look like just to sort of get an idea of, what it might take to be competitive in the league. So yeah, they seem to be, one of the stronger players, and the red player here, JD1329. Yeah, they're gonna basically go after us here, so still waiting on the blue player. Yeah, I think, just one thing to note for people that are slightly maybe newer to the game, or, there is a reason why you have a little bit more time at the beginning to pick settlements. I think that as far as determining, who wins the game, like it's not necessarily the case that if you, take the best options that you're going to take, you're going to win, because the dice factor in, and, other things can happen throughout the game that sort of don't work out for you. But you can definitely lose the game if you don't pick the right spots, right? And that's sort of something to consider when you're kind of going for your initial setup here. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself a chance. Let's just put it that way at the very least. So, yeah, going for the 3-4-6. I would imagine that they're now going to try to supplement that with the 4-5-11 actually isn't the worst bet for them. And then they're hoping that maybe they're going to be able to settle here on this 4-8, kind of with their, first road and settlement. Like, that's not bad strategically or conceptually. So they do have the privilege here of taking that 4-5-11, starting with a road in their hand, and then, hoping to expand relatively quickly if they can. But yeah, that's a pretty good, road building and settling kind of setup there, if that's what they end up doing. Again, from our perspective, I'm trying to think of, like the best sort of options for us. Okay, so that's interesting. So he doesn't go for the 4-5-11. And now I'm wondering whether I go for the 4-5-11. Now, the reason I say that, by the way, the thought process that I have in my mind is, starting with a road in hand is going to be really strong. I also think that it's very, very unlikely that somebody's going to take the 6-11 here. Like, if they're going to take the 6-11, I think they probably want to take the 3-9-11 anyway. So, assuming that nobody takes the 6-11 and we can kind of, we go here, we build a road out that way, we use our first road to build to here and get the 6-11 later, that really allows us to kind of cut through this entire board maybe and do a lot of damage. So I do like that idea. I'm just going to spend, like I said, you want to spend a little bit of time just kind of think about options, think about what the other players might be doing here. But the reason I think, both the red and the yellow player here, they both have a pretty decent kind of wheat producing spot. And so it's almost more likely that from the yellow player's perspective, they're going to want to get like the ore wool from that, right? So yeah, I think we're going to go with this. I think this is, I think this is the kind of setup that that could work. Let's put it that way. I think that these spots kind of complement each other quite well. Once we get on the clay port, I mean, we're already doubled on the 4. We'll be doubled on the 6. We'll be able to use those resources for, whatever we need. And assuming nobody messes up our chances here again on the 6-11, I think we're going to have the potential to have a good game here, give ourselves a chance to win. And that's really all you can ask for as far as sort of initial setups go. 6, 11, 12 going in that direction. So that's also quite good for us. That is also quite good for us. And yeah, now I'm just sort of, okay, interesting. So the yellow player is basically banking on the idea that they're going to get on the 9-10 later. Yep. By the way, I'm banking on the idea that if you look at this board, and I didn't mention this sort of in the beginning, but if you look at sort of what's going to be produced quite a bit on this board, the wheat looks extremely strong, right? There's a 6, 8, 9, 10. Everybody's going to be producing a ton of wheat. So for us to maybe get that trade going for specifically for wheat, I think that shouldn't be, a difficult trade for us to get at some point. So, there's an argument to be made to try to do like a wool for wheat trade, but maybe we wait. So yeah. Give it another round, make sure that when we do the trade, we're actually able to settle. Once we get there, our next goal is obviously to build towards this lumber port, get on that corner at the 6. And I mean, even at that point, my feeling is that we're going to be, pretty strong. So, yeah, I don't think that, yellow is really the only player that could contest kind of a building, building like that. But I think that they're not going to be fast enough to compete with us. And particularly because we're, sharing the lumber here. So they would have to get really, really lucky to, be able to kind of build out and kind of beat us to the punch over there on the port. Sheep for 2 wheat. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. I'll give him the sheep. So he needs the sheep to be able to settle. That's what he's doing now. And for us, giving up that 1 sheep at this stage, I'm not worried about it. We have another one. We're going to be able to do what we want as far as settling goes. And yeah, I'm not interested in giving anyone clay right now. Absolutely no reason for me to make this trade. I mean, that's a bit closer, but again, we'll have 7 cards. I mean, there is an argument to be made actually to take this trade. No, so yeah, I mean, I was going to consider it for another couple of seconds there, but yeah, that's all right. So I think now, just looking at where we're at, I want to do some damage here to some people. Maybe we hit yellow over here, although that doesn't really hurt them the most. We kind of don't have that many spots where we can really hurt the yellow player. But I think that trying to like they both have the 6 or the 8 as well, but at least getting that combo spot that hurts 2 people a little bit with their production. The 2 players that seem to also be kind of making the most progress, at least so far, at this stage of the game. Is blue going to go after us? Maybe. The 5 makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for the 5. Okay, so they go for the 9. Interesting. So I'm happy to see that, right? Like, in these early stages, he might be thinking, well, if I block the 5 and steal from the black player, maybe I get this clay that I'm after, right? So I'll just I forgot to say hello to everyone in the in-game chat, so you know, better late than never. Like, by the way, hi everyone. Yeah, usually I try to be, you know, it's kind of good form to yeah, just to, you know, just say hello to everyone. We're all just trying to have a bit of fun, play a game. For those that watched the previous game that I played, there was a little bit of a scenario where it seemed like one of the players was, let's put it slightly bitter about things that were going on during the game, and you know, it's all fair enough, right? I'm not going to you know, get too upset over the fact that somebody got upset during one of my games and you know, kind of went after me a little bit. But let's try this. I will, you know, I'll have a go. I mean, the lumber is more important than the wool, but okay, so he does it. Nice. So we do get a 2 for 1 there. So that's really good for us. We do finally get our first ore. I don't really want to waste the wool, because I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to beat yellow to the punch, and it would be very painful to you know, be in a scenario where somehow he kind of gets 2 roads and settles on the clay port here. With that being said, I mean, taking a development card is never a bad thing, right? So it's something to kind of consider here. You know, how easy is it going to be for me to get that wool later on again? Yeah, I think I'll go for it. Okay, so the rubber isn't bad. Like, we're going to be able to get rid of him off of the 6. I think I'm going to go after the yellow player again, just to prevent him. And he just rolled some wool as well. So, you know, 2 out of the 3 cards that he's holding at this stage are wool. That gives us, you know, at least at this stage, a decent chance to take the wool off of him, which would be a card that we would like to get from him. So yeah, I don't think a 5 has rolled yet, if I am not mistaken. So okay, so yellow, is he going to go after us? That's an interesting question. Who does he rob here? Yep, he does go after us. I guess, you know, from his perception, it's like we're the ones that are doing quite well here. So he does have a lot of wheat, and that's something to consider, right? As far as his hand right now, we know exactly what he has, right? He has 2 wool and 3 wheat. So I guess the thing to do, I mean, obviously we're going to use our knight here. I think we still have to go after the yellow player here. And we do get the wool, which was my preferred option there. And the reason why I went after the ore, by the way, is they already have the wool, they have the wheat, and now if they had ore, they could get development cards, get rid of that knight quickly, but now they can't. They need a 7 to roll, or for somebody else to move it for them, right? And a 7 roll. This can be a really frustrating game when the dice sort of, you know. So hopefully the blue player doesn't go after us, but again, I won't be surprised if, you know, he does something like goes after the 4 lumber here, 4 clay, sorry, here. And takes a card from it. So he does go for the 5 lumber. Does he go after us? Does he go after yellow? So he does go after us and get some clay off of us. That's fine. But yeah, maybe we'll have to try to find a trade for lumber here, just because it seems like you know, we might be blocked here for a minute, right? But yeah, we'll see what cards we have by the time it gets to us. See if there's anything that we can do to advance our agenda here. Okay, so red and blue are going to have to throw some cards away, so we always like to see that. And I'm interested to see where the red player is going to go now. Interested to see where he goes now. Yep, Okay, but at least he steals from the yellow player, right? So he blocks the 4, not the end of the world. We still have play in hand. But yeah, it's impossible for us to get the resources that we need. So the blocking of the 4 actually worked out well because that would have given us, you know, the clay. But yeah, there's not really much we can do. I don't think there's any point kind of looking for a trade with, you know, those 2 specific cards as well. So yeah, and blue goes again. You know, what does he do now? Does he go back to the 5, I guess? I mean, that's really, really kind of annoying, to be honest. And one of the reasons, by the way, like, you know, I don't mind getting robbed, that's part of the game, but, you know, the yellow player has 5 cards, right? So it's much more likely that they would be able to actually get something done this turn. Whereas in our situation, there you go, you get the development card. But, I mean, maybe you would have been able to do that anyway, but, but you know, we haven't been producing anything and everybody's been robbing us. So when before I think we had 3 or 4 cards, now we only have 1. And, you know, we obviously aren't going to be able to do anything this round and, you know, kind of delays our objectives here. I guess the one thing that would be really dangerous for us is, again, this idea that the yellow player, if he got the road build, for example, that could be something kind of critical as far as, you know, the pain kind of really sticking it to us here. You know, does he go after us again? I don't know. But yeah, blue is, you know, people are just rolling the 7s here constantly. Okay, so finally he does something else here. Yeah, the 4 and the 5 have been kind of the main targets for the last sort of round and a half. And I mean, yellow probably has a knight. That's the most likely card that you get from the development card deck. So if he does, he's going to move that knight. And then my hope is that now he's going to target the 8 ore down here. And sort of focus on other players now that, you know, now that they've kind of caught up. And I mean, that spot is very, very strong for the red player, obviously. Okay, so he didn't use the knight before he rolled, so I'm assuming he doesn't have a knight there. So let's cross our fingers and hope that he doesn't have a road build, because that would be a killer situation. Yeah, we're obviously not giving him lumber. He actually has, or maybe he lost the lumber actually. Interesting. Okay, so now we're after the wheat, and I think we might be able to get wheat. Very interesting. You know, he just burned 4 wheat. So I think we go here. I mean, I think we do this. I think the most likely outcome here is that he has wheat, but if he has clay, he has clay. I thought he might have wheat, so that sort of made sense to me in a sense, but, you know. I will do 2 for 1. Okay, so the red player is willing to do 1 for 1. That's great for us. So now we have our port. You know, we can kind of breathe a sigh of relief just with yellow maybe putting a little bit of pressure on. And yeah, now our setup, kind of that initial plan that we had, is kind of complete. And I guess why you trade so bad. So the blue player last time was a different person, but this time the blue player is again a little bit upset with the the red player for making that trade with us. So yeah, definitely. I mean, that just gave us you know, gave us quite a lot. That really gave us quite a lot. So yeah, I think, you know, before we do anything you know, too dramatic here, I think we're going to try to get that settlement and the 3-1 port. There's an argument to be made that maybe we try to get like a 2-road build over there and get on the 8-3, just increase our wheat production. But I mean, I think what we'll do, you know, as a starting point is kind of put this one road up. I find it hard to believe that yellow is going to try to kind of get in here and prevent us from connecting. Seems like a very wasteful, wasteful endeavor from their perspective. But you know, so at this stage, what I'm getting at here is that depending on how the cards sort of play out and what we get, and you know, there is a decent case to be made here that we kind of go for the 8-3 rather than the 3 and the 3-1 port. But we'll have to see how we go here in terms of production. I mean, that's not a bad trade, but I think I don't want to give blue any sort of ability to advance here. He's going to be desperate for clay, and that extra clay for us is, you know, kind of whatever we want maybe later on. So he goes for a development card. Nice. So we get the wool. So orange is going to give up some ore for a sheep. Now the question is, do we want to do this trade, which will allow us to then get a development card? But I think not. I think we just kind of, you know, lay low for a little while here and clay. Oh, okay, he was. Yeah, the blue player is desperate for clay, for obvious reasons. Yeah. Yeah, red expanding up. We're not interested in providing them with any wheat. I mean, maybe they want to do that so that they can get a development card here, I guess. But yeah, the red player is going to be quite dangerous, actually, like looking at this, you know, as objectively as possible. So I think we go here. I think we go after we start going after red here for a minute. You know, there's a good case to be made to just take a development card right now, and I think we'll do that. You know, if somehow we're going to be able to compete for army this game, that would be, you know, quite a significant achievement, I guess. But yeah, all of that clay really helps us now in terms of what clay and ore for what's that? Why would anybody make that trade? I mean, again, just what I was saying at the beginning, right? There's so much wheat production on this board. I find it hard to believe that anybody would give you 2 resources for, you know, yeah, and even that, I mean, I'm not interested in giving him my clay, right? If we do roll a 5, by the way, we can convert the 2 clay into lumber and then be able to do a road and settle. And I think that would be my preferred option, like that 1 extra road, you know, giving us access to that 8 wheat, doubling up on wheat, doubling up on the 3 ore. I mean, I'm not expecting a lot of ore from the 3 there, but yeah, so we're starting to get quite a lot of cards here. Actually, now we do have enough to do it anyway. So we can burn 4 of the clay for 2 of the lumber, and that will achieve the same thing for us, which is basically what I'm hoping to be able to do this turn. But yeah, if we have to throw away cards, we have to throw away cards here. Yeah, maybe we do this. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating, but okay, so he goes after us, goes after our lumber, gets to build a city. We obviously use the knight immediately and just go after red here. Yeah, we get our clay back, so that's nice. We get more clay. So can we do it now? I mean, is that a thing? Maybe I can try. So blue has been very desperate for this. So if I can get this trade with blue, it's not impossible, but it's, you know, it is possible. I'll give it a little bit of time just to kind of make people think like I'm really considering my options here. But yeah, we're definitely going to sweeten the deal, try to go 2 for 1, you know, if we can get this. So yeah, blue, oh. So blue is not interested in making this deal with us. So yeah, I mean, I think we have to go with this then. You know, maybe later on we get on the 8 by just building, continuing to build that way. But yeah, I was hoping obviously to get that extra road in and get the 8-3, but you know, I'm not unhappy with this outcome either. It would have just been a bit of an improvement, right? So yeah, so now we're hopefully going to be able to work our way to getting a city. There is an argument to be made here that we need to start hitting the development card deck as quickly as possible. An argument to be made that connecting the roads is going to be something that we want to achieve pretty soon. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame anybody for going after us at this stage, but my sense of the situation is that the red player, you know, red player is looking very dangerous here. So yeah, we'll see how we go. 15 cards for yellow. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So he stole all of the ore. That, you know, that's a big move. Big move. Does he have enough for a second city in one turn? That would be amazing. He dropped 2 cities in one turn. Okay, so wow, he goes 4 for 1 to be able to settle. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that was going to be the way he approached it, but yeah, I mean, do we try to you know, get some ore maybe? I mean, I would rather do it this way. Like, is this an option? You know, is this an option? I mean, maybe red wants to do this because he's kind of short on the wool production. Actually, thinking about it now, it was just monopolized, so... oh no, but an 8 rolled, what am I saying? Okay, so he's not interested. We'll just keep going. I mean, I don't think there's any point, you know, overthinking this right now. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think one of the things that we're going to want to do here is start getting some development cards. You know, if we can fight for army here simultaneously. I hope he's going to go for the 8 ore. I mean, yeah. You know, it is true that we have the you know, the points here and all of that stuff, but I mean, now the what am I saying? The yellow player is looking very, very dangerous here. I mean, they've really been able to kind of build up their forces. So we could, I mean, I think we need a development card. So let's do that. We'll start with that. There's no ifs or buts about this concept. So a victory point isn't bad. I also think that we may as well kind of start working our way down to connect our road here. Like, we may as well get that sort of little objective done. Yeah, so I think, you know, connecting the roads and taking development cards right now might be the way to go. And I mean, realistically speaking, if we're able to get road and army, we win the game here. So that's just something to remember, kind of, you know, in the back of our minds. I mean, we're on 6 points. We have that 1 victory point in our hand. We already have played two knights. So this looks like a game that potentially, you know, we have a decent chance to win. But yeah, nothing is guaranteed, of course. But yeah, we're going to need, so we don't need a city. I think I uploaded a YouTube video that's sort of similar in the sense that, you know, initially I was thinking, oh, we'll need a city and whatnot, and then we got a victory point, and I was like, oh, okay, so we have 6 points, and we were able to get the longest road in the army, and that was sort of what gave us the victory in the end, or got us to 10 points, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see, but I feel like that is achievable this game. So that really helps our agenda. If somehow we're able to get a development card this turn while we're also connecting, that would mean that yeah, we're basically setting ourselves up for the win next turn. So we're actually quite close. We're actually okay. That's perfect. Could not have asked for more than that. So yeah, red is now going for the development cards. Yeah, so we obviously connect the road here. We take a development card. We get a knight. So I'm just thinking out loud here. I mean, we were basically, you know, guaranteed the win next turn, but if somebody overtakes the road, so we may as well build one more road out. And basically our knight in the next turn is kind of leading us to the win here. So just trying to think of like what scenario. I mean, is yeah, yellow is not building 4 roads. So yeah, I think you know, in fairness, we're just gonna do it, right? We're gonna call this a win. Yeah, I'm kind of notifying the players that you know, I kind of have the win here. I don't see a pathway for anyone to take it away from us, right? So we're at 2 knights. We're going to play a 3rd one. That gives us 10 points. The only way is that somebody, you know, passes us in terms of the road build. Yellow, I don't believe has what it takes here to do it. So nice, very nice victory here in the league. You know, I admittedly said earlier in the stream that, you know, my expectation as far as win rate when I'm playing league matches against the Catan community, the Discord community, was that my win rate is going to be, you know, lower than 25%. So yeah, GG. Yeah, very nice victory there for us. Very, very happy with that one.